Ladies and gentlemen, I got to do this intro right. We have royalty in the building. It's royalty in her name, ladies and gentlemen. Round of applause for Nefetari Spencer. Round of
Yes,
applause.
that's me.
Yes, indeed. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you all? Thanks for having me. I'm excited
No,
to be here.
thank you, thank you. See, that's what I'm talking about right there. Right in early in the morning, like the orange juice. Man, man, thank you. You gonna find I'm very silly, but like I said, thank you so much. I know last time I saw you was y'all was bringing the house down at the El Rey Theater
Oh,
for the Sherman Showcase live. And y'all crushed it. Y'all did amazing. So thank you.
thank you, thank you, thank you.
Let's go ahead. Let's get into it. Let's learn. I know, of course, you have a plethora of shows that you've been on, but let's go back for a bit and talk about where everything started. What did you really want to
Ooh.
do as a kid? Because your resume is amazing, but what was it that got you started?
I think being an only child, I was always in my head. I would have tea parties by myself. So I think that was the beginning of character work. Was just, my imagination as a child. I always wanted to be an actor, but I was really scared to pursue it as I got older. It was just the I guess I always knew that the judgment of it was something that I didn't like. I liked being able to provide laughter, but I didn't like the judgment.
Mm, mm. And that's a lot too with especially now with today's comedy. You got to be very tiptoe. Some comedians tiptoe around some subjects, but I
Yeah.
actually understand what you're talking about with that, the judgment of it,
Yeah.
and the effect behind it. Yeah.
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 So you're obviously like extremely talented on and off the screen. So my question for you is, how do you find a healthy balance to not overstimulate yourself, especially as a woman in this industry now?
Um, I guess overstimulation can mean different things to each person, right? And also, I
Mm,
think overstimulation doesn't even matter about gender. I
mm,
don't think gender has anything to do with that. For
mm.
me, I do limit. When it comes to social media, I do not even engage on all of the platforms. It's too much for me.
Mm-hmm.
But I can say that I have a timer. Like I in the apps, you know how you can go into your phone and you can set the timer. I set a timer and I try to stay off of it because what I found is that at the end of the week, how iPhone is just disrespectful and tell you how much time you have spent on certain apps. Like, I didn't ask for this. I
Actually,
didn't round up at the end of the week for you to be telling me what I was doing with my time. Okay, nobody asked for that. So
Everybody
then,
asked for it.
wait a minute, I didn't get this, this particular script done that I wanted to do for myself, but I was like, oh, I really need to be using that time to get stuff done for me
Yeah.
instead of like scrolling aimlessly,
Mm,
through social media. So
yeah.
mm,
I think for me, it's just limiting my time, and then also really trying to take time for to not have any stimulation, to really just chill and just center myself. I think
yeah.
that's the only way for me that it works.
Gotcha. I understand.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Uh, I know at one point in time before we got here, before we talked about overstimulation, there was a time where we all was taking a break during the writer's strike. How did that affect you, and what did you do to get through that? To get through that process?
Girl, break. You said a what? A
You said
what?
one key word, break.
Okay, so I will say this. I think the day the strike went into effect, I was on a Zoom and had to turn my camera off. It was for the Tony
Mm,
Award.
Oh wow.
And I had to turn my camera off because it was like, no, the strike is in effect. And I was like, oh, okay. So it was like I didn't know what to do. But I really didn't have too much of a break, because honestly, I used that time for me to work on stuff that I wanted to work on, because I feel like if you really just was like, I'm using this time to just like not do nothing, to me, I feel like anytime there's a break, you should be in the gym for yourself. So I use that time to be in the gym for myself. I did travel. I did leave the country for a bit. And that was, as you were talking about being overstimulated, that was some time I also used for myself to decompress, because I needed that little bit of a break. But then I also was, I was in the gym. I was writing stuff for myself, or just coming up with ideas, or just living life, because you can't really, as a writer and as an actor, how am I going to really be truthful without going out into the world and seeing the world? So how do I, translate that into the form of what's on the page or into a character? So that's what I did during the strike.
Gotcha.
That's great. Now, you're from Chicago, is that right?
Oh yeah.
Now, I have to, like, I've had this interview circled on my calendar for a while. Before we continue, like, we have to first thank you all, from you and the cast of Southside. Without that show, Diallo, Sultan, Kareem, Quincy, E3, Antoine McKay, all past guests of ours, they really helped us take our podcast to the level. I see
I think it's out of focus, but that's my little Southside chair. Yeah.
Oh, that's dope, yeah. That is so
Keisha
dope.
was one of my favorites. Like, that really, like, so just want to, just as inspiring writers and actors ourselves, and really to be able to do something in your hometown and just show a different side of Chicago that we've never seen. Like, how was that experience just working on set?
Oh man, Southside is definitely one of my favorites. Keisha was ridiculous, and I love every second of being Keisha, because Bashir and Diallo and Sultan, like, they just gave me the freedom to do whatever I wanted with that character. Because Bashir and Diallo and myself, we started together. We started a sketch group back in the day, like when we were kids and first got here in LA. We started a sketch group called Cleo's Apartment. It's really the brainchild of Bashir and Diallo, and myself and another girl, Angela. We came on board with some other people, but we said it was our sketch group because we were the originators of it. And we really just started doing sketch together. And this was so much fun to be able to get paid on a show and essentially be as silly as we were, when we were starting off doing sketch comedy together. So I loved Southside. I loved being home in Chicago shooting that show. That it was truly, 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 truly a dream come true. It really was. It really was. I love that show so much. Yeah.
It definitely came across on screen. Like, you could tell, like, that's a fun set to be on.
It was a lot of fun. And I love that, they tried to use as many Chicagoans as possible.
Yeah.
That show was like so many Chicago people, and just a family affair. Like Bashir, Sultana brothers, and the Zuri, who played who played Stacy, is their sister. Chandra is married to Bashir, who was Officer Goodnight. So the two cops, they were actually married. They're actually married in real life. So it was really, really, really a family affair. It was so much fun being on that show. I really wish we could continue that show.
Yeah. I told Diallo when we had him on the show before everything happened. Even Kareem, I was like, bro, like, man, can we get a petition signed to get y'all? Because y'all have so many fans, and it's like it's one of those. But
it's like a hidden gem. I need more people to know about this show.
That was the thing. I feel like we didn't get a lot of press, but I felt like the people talked about it. It was like word of mouth. Everybody knew about it, and just for people to even recognize. I'm always shocked if someone is like Keisha from Southside, because I feel like them wigs with them. Shout out to Rookie Styles with those wigs.
Yes. Yes.
So, the baby hairs was like,
Yeah.
The baby.
shout out to Rookie because I loved every piece of Keisha. She lives within me, y'all. I keep her alive from time to time, and I say wild stuff on the regular in my real life. So just know I'm keeping Keisha alive.
Oh man, I love it, man. We definitely keep working on a petition to get that show back. I mean, if y'all can. Oh my gosh. So and speaking of Chi-Town, your hometown and everything, we was scrolling and we saw that, you know, RIP to the Mac man.
Oh man.
You worked with him.
Oh yeah.
And you know, I think he has a special place. Let me see. What?
I'm trying to think what I have up here. You can't see it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remodel, but
There we go.
that's
Okay.
a bobblehead there. This is a
Yeah.
clock. And then I have like a baseball signed, like when he
Yeah.
did Mr. 3000, but this was from
Oh, that's nice.
Oh, that is so cute.
That is so cool.
I love that.
Yeah.
yeah.
Man, RIP to the king, original king of comedy, and we see that, you know, he had a certain influence on your career. Could you share what you can with us about? Yeah,
I could talk about Bernie for hours. How much time
yeah.
do you got?
You got it.
So I started my career here as an assistant.
Yeah.
I was an assistant to the vice president of television at Warner Brothers, and he was the only Black VP at the time. Is Henry Johnson. He just passed away. Rest in peace to Henry Johnson. And Henry Johnson he oversaw several shows on the Warner Brothers lot, which is how Bashir and I actually met. Bashir knew about that job, and he was like, "Hey, you should send in your resume." Bashir's brother and I went to SCAD together, Savannah College of Art and Design in Savannah, Georgia. When I got to LA, Ismail is his name. Ismail was like, "You should hit up my brother," and the rest is history. We've been like, that's like my family. So anyway, I started off my career there. And to get to the Bernie Mac show, I think I was the youngest production coordinator in the history of television and the second Black woman to ever become a production coordinator.
Come on now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the shows that I coordinated, they didn't get picked up for series. And so the producer for the Bernie Mac show, they had just shot the pilot and it got picked up for series. Michael Peacock, who went on to do Blackish, Grownish, started with In Living Color. Like Michael Peacock is a pioneering like producer in the industry. So I was Peacock's assistant. And when he called me and asked me to come in and assist him, he was like, "Listen, the Bernie Mac show just got picked up. I know you're coordinating now, but just come in and help me out." Because I knew him from a previous show. And he's like, "If something else comes up, you can leave." Long story short, when Bernie and I met, our first meeting was on the stage. And this was before, we started shooting for the series. And so Michael Peacock introduced me to Bernie. And Bernie was like, "Who is you?" I was like, "I'm Nefetari." He was like, "What?" I was like, "Nefetari." He was like, "All right, well, I'm gonna call you." He was like, "Baby girl," or he would call me Young Thang, right? He was like, "I'm a Young Thang." If y'all ever watch the show and there's scenes like sprinkled throughout the course of the 5 seasons, if he walked into a scene and he was like, "Young Thang," it would just be out of the blue, like right off the side of the camera, like right here, and he was just fucking with me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Bernie was he was the best. So he knew my stepmother at the time and my dad in Chicago. He knew them. And he was like, "Wait, who you Sterling daughter?" I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "All right, from now on, we family. Just know that we family." That's day one.
Yeah.
So fast forward to, I had the great idea of, we were only picked up for 13 episodes that first season. And back then they used to do this thing with the Black shows. They would call it the back 9. You wouldn't get a full season order. So they had to have the ratings for the networks in order for them to say you guys can get what's called a back nine, right? So then that would bring you to a full season. So we were throwing this party to congratulate everybody for the back nine. I decided I was going to be the entertainment for the show. I don't know where this idea. I just decided I'm gonna perform for everybody and do characters because this is when I was obviously a child and didn't really think of the gravity of it. But anyway, so Bernie and the crew and everybody are dying laughing because I decided to do these damn characters. Not hired Diallo. He was just starting to DJ. He was our DJ. And Bernie thought that the show writers wrote it, and they was like, "No, she did it." And so Bernie, from that day forward, because I used to always make him laugh, he was like, "You need to stop hiding." He said, "You need to stop hiding, and you need to be in front of the camera." And so I listened to him. I started studying comedy, and he would come to my little shitty plays, like I'm talking about we're 10 people in the audience above a liquor store in Hollywood. You know what I'm saying? Like Bernie, he would come.
Wow.
And he actually, because of that, I started, my trajectory and being in front of the camera. And he was the first person that gave me, Bashir Diallo, and our sketch group money so that we could rent a theater and do our sketch show. So that's the history of Bernie Mac. Yeah. Rest in peace to the Mac.
Yeah, man. That's beautiful. That's a beautiful story right there.
Yeah. Oh, let me tell you this. This is actually one of my favorite stories. So when before he gave us this money for the sketch show, I went to him and said, "Hey, Bernie, do you think you could donate some money to my sketch group?" And I was like, we trying to do a run at a theater over in Hollywood. And he was like, "Okay, are y'all funny?" I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "You know what?" I was like, "Yeah, these were my little ideas, right?" I was like, "We can perform for the crew at lunchtime, and if we make everybody laugh, then you can give us money, right?" And he was like, "All right, set it up." So Bernie had a lunch catered for the crew. And the crew, they not gonna, if it's not funny, the crew is not laughing. Okay,
right.
But they gonna eat. So that's why we got butts in the seat. So everybody came, to this lunch that Bernie had catered. And it was me and my little sketch group. And we had music cues on a CD. We was playing on a CD player, trying to have these sound cues and all this other stuff. Or whatever. So at lunchtime, so he brought us out. He was like, "All right, y'all." He was like, "Young Thang and her little friends here, they think they're gonna make y'all laugh." they think they're gonna make y'all laugh. So if the shit is funny, laugh. If not, then don't. All right, y'all, come on out. Do what you do.
You got his mannerisms down pat.
What? So that's how he brought us out, and we shut it down. Shut it down. So he gave us money so that we could do our very first run in a theater for Cleo's apartment, and the rest is history.
That's great.
That is so cool. Somebody from up there to just put faith in y'all like that. But he was on. Bernie always been honest. And he said it too, and he just feels like those people that you meet in person, he gonna be straight up with you and let you know, nah, this ain't funny. That ain't it. So that's so dope. That's a cool story.
Yeah.
That's too funny.
So, mentioning your writing, because we've been talking a lot about your writing, I gotta shout you out right quick. We need some snaps and all that for it. But you're also the first female lead writer of the BET Awards. So, amongst other award shows. So my question is, how do you go about your creating process? How do you write the right thing for the right rooms you're in? Because the BET Awards isn't the only show you've written for.
Right. I've written for, in terms of the award shows, I've written almost for most of them at this point, it feels like, in a lot of different specials. So to be the first woman to be the head for that.
Mhm.
So far it's been the first woman to be the head writer for the BET Awards, the AMAs, and Soul Train Awards. So to be the first for three has been wow. It was pretty crazy to even say that. Now to what's my process? I think it's more or less like what's funny to me or what's happening in pop culture. It just depends, it just depends. And also it depends on who I'm writing for. Everybody's point of view may not necessarily be in alignment with what I think is funny.
Right.
So I really try to research and listen to what like this potential host. I try to look up footage of them, listen to what they're talking about, go on their Instagram page. What are they interested in? Things like that, and how can we take what's happening currently and make it funny or make it poignant and make them still get a point across, but so that the people in the back can also hear. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's kind of my process. That's kind of been my process of how I approach the writing. And then try to get other writers and usher other writers in that I feel like who have they know what's going on, like they know what the pulse is, like what's funny right now, and various sectors of pop culture, if you will.
Yeah.
So I try to bring in a lot, and I've tried to usher in a lot of women. Rashida, she's also from Chicago. I'm a huge fan of hers, and I brought her in and into the fold. And then she this past year went on, and she became the head like this last year for BET Awards. So that made me very happy to see that happen.
Yes.
XIO, she also is a writer actor, and I brought her in for Soul Train, and then she was on BET this year as well. So it's, to me, like seeing these other women who I brought into the fold and to see them to continue on, to me that's been really great to know that I have laid down this pathwork for so long and then be able to open a door for other women to then come behind me and do exactly the same. Right. That's the best part. That's been the best part.
I love that. Reach one, teach one, and bring one along with you. We ask ourselves that as well too, because we acting right as well too. And there was some times when me and Chris was on set, and we started we'll get people to start singing. Like, I'm like, I'm not finna sing Backstreet Boys with this group of black people. Nah, you need to sing Prince. I mean, it has worked before. To be honest with you, I got people singing bye bye bye, and I want it that way. Like I'm telling you, you are my fire. So, I'm hitting it. It is like an old man starts singing with me one time. I'm like,
come on.
Like, man, we was like, I would have fun on you gotta have fun on set. You know how it is. The long hours.
You do.
So you gotta do something live.
You do. For as a matter of fact, like for A Reasonable Doubt, because that's a drama, and so for me, it's mostly I do a lot of comedy, but for me to be doing drama as well. So I know like this particular, without me giving anything away, this particular season, it was a big storyline about like a murder that happened. So, they would be like, cut. And I would be like, hey, murder. Hey, it's not real murder, y'all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, go sit down somewhere, but when it was appropriate,
Right. Of course.
Yeah, that sounds like me. This dark stuff you ain't supposed to be doing.
Right. Yeah. I mean, my point of view of comedy sometimes is, I feel like for me, how I process trauma sometimes is laughter. And it's not like I'm trying to laugh at something that's not funny, but I often see what can be funny in the midst of like some mess that's gone down. You know what I mean? Like,
I thought I was the only one. People think I'm weird because my mom passed away. So the only way I could deal with it is just to have dark comedy about it. I don't know. It's weird. Everybody like, oh my God, why you saying like that?
But you know what? It helps you. It depends on the person. It helped me. Same thing happened to me. My mom passed. It was terrible. And in the midst of like my sorrow, I was processing it. So I'm on the plane and I'm heading back. I'm heading back from Chicago. And after I'd cremated my mom. And so I'm heading back and like I'm holding the box, of her ashes. They take me into a room because they was like, what's in the box? I was like, my mother,
I'm sorry.
mom's in the box, guys. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's terrible, but
I get it.
I'm fucked up. But in my head, I was like, this is hysterical because nobody's gonna believe me that TSA was like, is this a bomb? And I'm like, well, she was to me, it's my mom. It's dark.
Hey.
People do that all the time. People think that's weird. They be like people I haven't seen in a long time, and I go back to my little childhood town. It's like a real small town. They be like, everybody knew my mom. They was like, how's your mom? She's dead.
Yeah.
I mean,
she's smiling down. She's smiling down.
Why you say it like that? I mean, she is dead. I mean, what else you want me to say?
Right. I think with them it's because it's uncomfortable for everybody else, and they're just like, what do I say? What do I do? I mean, in that case, it's just like, okay.
That's how I deal with it, because I don't want to be stuck in that reality. Like, oh dang, you really just gonna leave me here with these folks? I don't want to sit in it too long. Like, my mom was really gone, so I gotta laugh. I laugh at trauma. That's just how I get through stuff. So I don't like that too. I get it. But outside of your writing, you're in front of the camera also. You've been on a number of shows. You've been on Southside. You've been on The Neighborhood. I just discovered Truth or Dare, so I just discovered that. And you're on my favorite show, my personal favorite, Reasonable Doubt. It's my favorite show. What do you do to, get into these different?
Hey.
Before I ask you this question, I just got to tell you this.
Uh-oh. Here we go.
You was my homegirl. You was my homegirl season 1. Season 2, I was like, Sally, damn. You gonna just do your husband like that, girl? And then you just said it with so much heart and confidence. Yeah, and I wouldn't have to take the money from the house for her. She I didn't expect her to go to jail. I was like, girl, what are you thinking?
But it was because let's come on, y'all.
Let's get into it.
Get into it.
So I'm asking y'all some questions now. Shit, I'm trying to get
it. Let's go.
So if your cousin, and y'all know how we are, that's my cousin, but that's my sister. You know how we are. Like, that's my sister.
Right.
So her parents died. So the backstory, her parents died. She came to live with Sally. So Chanel came to live with Sally. Sally was the rich girl, right? Or her parents were having money. So Sally Sally and Chanel. So Chanel came to live with Sally. So they grew up as sisters. So, and Sally was the one who knew, that's my sister. That's my cousin, but that's my sister. Sally was the one who knew about the abuse. Sally was the only one that she confided in. Sally was helping her get everything together. She hid all her stuff at my house. I'm helping her get ready to flee, to leave him, and also to take the girls away, right? So what would you do for your sister if you knew she was being beat by her partner? What would you do?
Can I say it the black person version, or I gotta say it the edited version?
No, I want you to be real.
Okay.
Because this is real.
I actually have
Yeah.
had friends that I have happened to.
Yes.
Oh, I got baseball bats. Call me in the middle of the night. We finna whoop his ass together.
Yes.
What's up?
Mhm.
Or I don't know about killing them. Because I am married. Who got 4 kids to think about. I love you, girl, but my husband, I don't think he's gonna be okay. Girl, we just got this house now. I ain't trying to go back. I'm gonna help you. But you on your own. But I'm gonna whoop his ass for you. We definitely gonna whoop your ass together. But
so you saying you wouldn't go against the household, meaning your husband. If your husband told you no, you're not going against the household.
No.
Got it. Okay. Got it. I feel like that was the consensus. A lot of people were like, yo, you can't go against the house. You can't go against the household. You just can't do it. You got, no matter what, like that's a hard situation. You can't go against the household. However, I do believe if Chanel ass didn't run, it would have been it would have played out differently. Then it would have been like, yeah, I would have helped. I would have did the same thing. So it really was a hard predicament, I think, for Sally. So I understood that struggle, of wanting to really help and help your family.
Right.
But then also going against the household was also, as you saw at the end of the season, it was a heavy price to pay.
Yeah. Y'all had me on. Me and Tab and everybody was like, you got us on the edge of our seat. Like when I posted, I was like, get your popcorn ready, because we was over here like, bro, like she'll call me. I'll be at work.
Wednesday night. I didn't even wait till Thursday. I was like, James, it's on. We gotta watch it right now. We got Sally, come on now. What you did now?
What you done did?
I was there.
So much fun. It was so much fun for this season for me, because I got to do a lot. I got to be kind of like sinister in a way. I got to be complicated, and I had a great time this season. It was tough. It was tough to have to go into those like dark moments to portray that, but I had a great time, because for me it was like I felt like I was really being stretched, as an actor.
How do you tap into the inspiration? Because you do have all these different characters, from comedy, drama to other genres. What do you tap into? Do you look up to somebody else, or do you just figure out how to go deep into those characters?
There's a little bit of crazy in here. First of all, no, I'm just kidding. I think it's a plethora of things. I don't honestly feel like there's just this one way of tapping into the character for me. I feel like obviously for each character, there is a piece of me within those characters. And also the imagination of what I'm translating from the scripts. I think that has a lot. It's my point of view of what I'm seeing these characters actually going through and have been through in order to bring that forward. I think tapping into just my structure in terms of studying improvisation, and just the comedy. It's always kind of just like, what is the instinct that this character, what would they say, what would they do? And sometimes it can be wrong, other times it could be spot on, you know what I mean? Especially given the parameters of like, this is your character, this is what they think. And then once you know that, I think you can kind of move forward with your own, instrument, I guess. I hope that's answering the question.
No, that answers perfectly.
It does.
Now there was a trailer that just recently dropped, and watching the trailer, I laughed so hard. It already feels like a classic. You're part of a film, One of Them Days, with SZA and Kiki Palmer coming out. Is there anything you can share with us about that?
I don't know nothing other than it's coming out.
Man, you know what?
I one of them days, okay. Written by Sarita Singleton, directed by Lawrence Lamont, produced by Issa Rae, starring SZA and Keke Palmer.
Yes.
Go see it.
We needed a black female comedy like that film coming out.
Yes.
Like we need something like that. And we're gonna go ahead and pitch you for Marvel because the way you just said I don't know nothing.
Yeah.
Marvel, go ahead and knock on Nefetari door because
Go ahead.
Come on, let's right now. Let's be in agreement. Manifestation.
Yes.
Yes, Lord.
yeah, your boy, what's his name? Leroyce is already in it. So hey,
Yes.
yeah. So
yes.
we we talking to him right now currently to get him on. So we trying.
Okay.
You know, his schedule's crazy too. But
Yeah.
But yeah. Go ahead, Devion.
I was about to ask. So, like, at the end of your career, because you've done a lot of giving back, and you put people in positions to be able to, go after their dreams as well. So, what exactly would you want people to say about your legacy?
She did that. I think I would love for that to just, to be what people say about the legacy. But also, I feel like what I learned from Bernie is that when you were in a room with Bernie, everybody felt seen. At least what I feel, what I hear is that no matter who you were, what your position was on the show, Bernie made everybody feel like they were seen and heard. I strive to have that. I strive to be graceful while trying to figure it out. I'm not perfect, but at the end of the day, I hope that my career inspires kindness in the midst of trying to go for your dreams. That's what I hope.
Wow.
Yeah. A full sermon right there. You already took care of my next question. I was about to say, what gems you want to drop for us to pick up and receive? That was a gem in itself.
Gem was dropped.
I think in terms of for some gems, what I've been learning is that I'll go back to what I said earlier, is that when you have a little bit of downtime, use that downtime for yourself. Because we're all working for a lot of people, for everybody else, and we're helping to push other people's dreams forward, right? What do you want to do for you? And I feel like use that downtime to pour into yourself, because when you pour it back into yourself, it fills your cup back up, and you can only become the best version of yourself. So that's what I would say. Pour into yourself, as well as, doing your job and helping other people achieve their dreams.
You ain't got to yell at me.
Is it loud,
I hear that a lot. That's why. So you talking to me, I'm like, I hear you.
You hear me?
I hear you.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Well, speaking of dreams,
Nefetari killed my pumpkin.
no, season 3 is coming out. Season 3 is coming out. I need about Thanksgiving. I'm just
listen. We're waiting. We don't know. We haven't heard anything.
Okay, when you find out, I could just be in the hallway. I could just be drinking imaginary water as y'all walk through the hallway. Be in the city.
Okay. It's up here now. I got it. She just want to be in the hallway. She just want to be in the hallway.
Amy has to be assistant. Leave it. She don't need one. She need a tip. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Too funny. I'm about to drink.
And I love her. I absolutely love her too.
Yes. Yeah. Amazing cast. Nefetari, go ahead and let everybody know we can follow you at.
You can follow me on Instagram. I am at Nefetari S. Same thing on X. I'm not on the TikTok. I should get on there. It's too much. I can't do it.
They keep coming up with stuff. It's like, hey,
in your pockets.
I'm still on Facebook and Instagram.
Right.
In your pockets.
Facebook is for the elders, you know. I got to get on the Facebook so that my elders from the church can keep up, you know.
Can keep up with you.
Baby, I don't see you on here.
Right. My church in Chicago can keep up so they can ask me questions.
They on TikTok too. My daddy on TikTok.
They just know you, right?
My daddy is 79 on TikTok. Yes.
Do I need to get a TikTok? Do I need to get on the TikTok?
I only watch it for the videos. I don't too much do stuff. That's Davy thing. That's all her. That's her all day.
That ain't real.
Too funny.
I don't know. See, it's gonna take me down a rabbit hole because then I'll be like, oh, I can make this. Do you know how many recipes I have saved that I have not?
Yes.
Yeah, and
that's what especially you want to hype up that spaghetti, you go right there.
Yeah. You know how many times I have wanted to rearrange a whole closet and save the post? I have wanted to grow a garden. I saved the post. Have I done it? No. No, I haven't. So, yeah.
Oh, goodness. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. We can talk to you all day, but we know you got to go head out. So we definitely gonna let you go. Ladies and gentlemen, Nefetari, Spencer, Queen, take your bow.
I was excited. I've been excited for a week and I couldn't tell nobody. So I'm excited now.